Hi, and welcome to Alex's Global Energy and Population Tour Agency. In this segment, we will explore both ends of the beautiful continent, Asia. The countries we'll be exploring today are Israel, Iran, Vietnam, and Singapore. It is now my pleasure to introduce our wonderful tour guides today. Energy enthusiast Lauren, population wizard Maz,
Hey guys.
and fun fact Mariah. It looks like they will be starting our tour in the fun and diverse nation of Israel.
Shalom, and welcome to our energy and population discussion on Israel. Israel is a small Middle Eastern country that borders the Mediterranean Sea. In fact, Israel's only about the size of New Jersey in both land area and population.
Israel has a current population of 8.6 million people. What makes Israel's population so unique is how fast it has grown. Among developed nations, Israel has the highest fertility rate in the world. The average Israeli woman has 3 children in her lifetime, which is twice the average fertility rates in developed nations. That, along with the heavy Jewish immigration from the Soviet Union, has led to the population doubling in the last 25 years.
In terms of energy, Israel is still behind most developed nations in the advancement towards sustainable energy production and consumption. 97% of energy consumption in Israel are from fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and natural gas, with only 3% of energy consumption coming from renewable resources like solar. With Israel being such a young nation, it's not quite fully caught up in the world of sustainable energy. Thankfully, Israel is one of the world leaders in technology and innovation, so more renewable energy sources are sure to be on the way.
Vietnam covers 310,000 square kilometers of land, making it the 66th largest country in the world. In the last 2 decades, Vietnam has seen one of the most rapid economic growth rates, which has reduced the poverty rate significantly. Fun fact, challenges that may prohibit a more renewable energy transition is government investing in a more new and advanced technologies through state finance from state-owned enterprises.
The population of Vietnam is approximately 95.5 billion people, with only 1% of the population needing electricity. Although it has one of the highest population densities in the world, the population is heavily dense along the South China Sea and Gulf of Tonkin, with a literacy rate of the total population over 15 is 94.5%.
Vietnam has emerged as an important oil and natural gas producer in Southeast Asia, with thermal energy being the main source for the country. In 2000, renewable energy, including biomass and hydropower, contributed to 53% of the total primary energy supply, dropping to 24% in 2015. Coal went from 15% to 35% as biomass and hydropower are unable to meet increasing demand. Vietnam has around 20 coal-firing plants, and by 2020 that number will increase to 32 and then 51 in 2050. By 2020, coal plants will be producing 50% of Vietnam's electricity output.
Singapore is a sovereign city-state and island country in Southeast Asia, just south of Malaysia. They are a new country gaining their independence from Malaysia in 1965. Singapore has a 1.8 unemployment rate, which shows that the country is clearly economically successful.
The current population of Singapore is 5.6 million people, to give scale. That is the same as the population of Colorado. They are an emerging global commerce hub, being the 3rd largest foreign exchange market and financial center. Only 13% of Singapore's population are children, with a total fertility rate of 0.8 for the country. Yet their population has increased by over 1 million in the last decade. This is due to a rapid increase in immigration, which can be seen in the imbalance of their population pyramid, which has shifted to have the majority of the population in the 25 to 50-year-old category, showing that it is the workforce that makes the majority of Singapore's population.
Singapore has recently enacted a clean energy goal, investing over $500 million into reducing their environmental impact. The majority of the energy used in Singapore is currently from natural gas, which is imported into the country. But with these new investments, Singapore plans to shift towards a more sustainable energy. Some of the problems that Singapore faces in this transition is the lack of available renewable resources, but through increased green architecture to reduce energy needs and increased use of the available renewables, like solar, Singapore could indeed reach their energy goal.
The country of Iran is located in the Middle East, just south of the Caspian Sea. It has been suffering through crippling economic sanctions for the past few decades. and this has caused severe poverty in many areas of the country, as people are experiencing food and job insecurity.
Iran has a population of over 82 million people, making it the 17th largest country in the world. The middle class constitutes approximately 32% of the total population, with a majority of the rest being in light to extreme poverty. 15-year-olds and younger make up 24% of the total population. Iran's growth rate is 1.2% and decreasing due to increased education. 74% of the population lives in urban areas, and the urbanization is growing at a 1.8% annual growth rate.
Currently, Iran is largely dependent on fossil fuels, mostly petroleum and crude oil. 80% of their total electricity comes from fossil fuels, with 38% being crude oil and 60% being natural gas. There has, however, been recent initiative and interest with renewables. Iran's hydropower makes up about 1% of their energy use, nuclear being less than 1%, and non-hydro renewables being less than 1%. Iran will continue to be reliant on fossil fuels, increasing more as time goes on. They will continue to push nuclear programs to revitalize their dependence and hopefully become greener, as long as geopolitics doesn't get in the way. Recently, with the nuclear deal, sanctions have been lifted, so nuclear power is increasingly more attainable. There are still high hopes for Iran to turn into a more progressive state.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed Alex's Global Energy and Population Tour, Asia Edition. Remember that we can all contribute to living a more energy sustainable life by simply turning off the lights when leaving a room, or even turning off the faucet when brushing your teeth. If everyone takes steps to live a more energy efficient life, then our world will sure to be better off in the future. Be sure to join us next time for Global Energy and Population Tour to South America. Adios.